Alright guys, so I posted out there that I bought this, well, I found this vintage 1990s as seen on TV banjo lures. Its pack was not open, so it's probably about 25 years old, close pushing 30. So I'm going to try to take them out this weekend and catch some fish with them. Heard mixed reviews whether they sucked or whether you could actually catch fish with them, but we're going to break it down. So basically it came with, you can stay back there, basically it came with Catch the Big One DVD, which I'm gonna put that at the end of this video where you can watch it yourself. It came with an instruction booklet, and it came with a $20 gift certificate to join the Banjo Minnow Club, which I looked up online, does not exist anymore. So what did I get in my pack? So basically I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different color lures. They come in 3 different sizes. They come in a 5-inch, a 4-inch, 3-inch, or I guess 3 different sizes. And they came with 3 different size hooks. This is the 1/0. This is the size down from it. And then a smaller hook. I'll probably be using the bigger one because that's the gap it had. It came with a bunch of these little Weedless. They look like rubber bands, which I won't be using. So here's what I'm going to be fishing with. I'm going to be fishing with my 6'6" medium action Mr. Lou's. This is basically how I have it tied up. It's what I'm going to start out with this color. We're going to see if we can catch a fish on it. If not, we might break down to the smaller one, but I still think I'm going to use the number 1 hook because I think it has a little bit wider gap and maybe have a better success for a hookup ratio as opposed to the smaller hooks. But we shall see. I am the Sunfish Assassin, and that is the plan for this week's fishing trip. Check out my videos, will be coming out soon on fishing with the Banjo Minnow, and we'll see how it goes down. I may catch nothing, but I am not going to take it to the river. I'm going to take it to a private pond where I generally catch fish all the time. So if this Banjo Minnow won't catch bass at my little private pond I go fishing in, they won't catch fish anywhere. I am the Sunfish Assassin. This is going to be this weekend's fishing trip. Peace out, everybody.
Hi, I'm Wayne Hockmeyer, the originator of the Banjo Minnow, and I'm here today to do an instructional video on the brand new Banjo 006 Minnow. The new Banjo 006 Minnow is much improved from the original Banjo Minnow. It features diamond flash, iridescent holographic foil, and artistic color design. It has strategically placed swim cuts, making it easier to swim and duplicate lifelike action. It has detachable eyes that come in 3 different colors: black and white, red and black, and holographic eyes. Best of all, these eyes come in 2 different weights. There are heavy eyes for fishing in deep water or on the bottom as a jig, and light plastic swimming eyes for fishing near the surface. The new detachable eyes have a stem with an eyelet at the end for attaching the bait to a hook. Choose the color and the weight of the eye you want and simply bend the nose of the minnow, insert the stem into the hole that is molded into the nose of the minnow. Push the stem forward and push the eye itself into the eye socket. The eye fits perfectly into the head of the minnow. Once the eye has been inserted, the eyelet will barely protrude from the nose of the bait. You are now ready to attach the minnow to your hook. Depress the nose of the minnow with your fingertip, exposing the eyelet. Now insert the point of the hook through the eyelet and push until the bob of the hook goes completely through the eyelet. The fish hook is now locked into the bait and will not come off while you are fishing. Directly in front of the eyelet hole is a slit that runs from the eyelet back towards the eyes. You can easily remove the bait from your hook by positioning the bob of the hook directly in line and opposite of this slit. Now push the hook itself into the slit and towards the eyeballs. This will bring the bob into the eyelet and allow you to now detach the hook by slipping the bob through the eyelet. It is no longer necessary to have to cut your line and retie another knot in order to change baits. The Banjo 006 minnow comes in 5 different sizes. There is a 3-inch minnow, a 4-inch, a 5-inch, and a 7 and 9-inch minnow. The 3, 4, and 5-inch minnows are generally used with a number 8 Banjo Weedless hook for the 3-inch, a number 4 hook for the 4-inch minnow, and a number 1 hook for the 5-inch minnow. The 7-inch minnow is usually fished with a heavy-duty number 3.0 hook, and the 9-inch minnow with either a 5.0 or 6.0 hook. You are not, however, restricted to using one size hook for each size minnow. It is possible to use a number 1 hook on a 3-inch minnow and a number 8 hook on a 5-inch minnow. I personally use the number 1 hook on the 3, 4, and 5-inch minnow when I am fishing around vegetation or heavy cover and using the Banjo weed guide. I will now show you how to attach a weed guide to a Banjo weedless hook. Place the hook in one hand and hold the weed guide in the opposite hand. Place the weed guide over the eyelet of the hook and then pull the weed guide into the eyelet. When you relax the weed guide, it expands and will not slip back out of the eyelet. Now pull on the weed guide and insert your index finger into the center of the weed guide. Now insert your middle finger into the center of the weed guide and separate your 2 fingers. Pull the weed guide up and behind the bob of the hook and release. The hook is now weedless. When a fish grabs the bait, it will depress the weed guide, exposing the hook point. When the fish turns and pulls the line tight, you will hook the fish. If you are fishing in open water, do not use the weed guide. It is not necessary. Never store the weed guides in direct sunlight as they will dry out. Banjo minnow can also be rigged with our El Cinco hooks. These hooks have a very short shank and are meant to be hooked at the bottom side of the bait, directly behind the front pectoral fin. The El Cinco hook is heavy and will sink fast. The hook is designed to move the bait sideways and create a very spastic swimming action. Now that you know how to rig and use the various items that come in the Banjo 006 minnow kits, it is time to go to the water and demonstrate the various retrieves and techniques that are used to fish the Banjo 006 minnow. The first retrieve that I would like to demonstrate is the stop and go retrieve. It is a very simple retrieve to use and very effective. Now this is how you do the retrieve. You make quick, short jerks, very quick, very short, about a second apart. The lure will go left to right almost on every jerk. After every jerk, you return the rod tip back towards the bait, creating slack. You reel up the slack. You never pull the minnow. You never reel the minnow. You just keep the jerk going, going, going. Reel up the slack. If the fish won't bite, you really put a lot of pause between the jerks, let the minnow go down, down, and then jerk again. So if I don't get bit, if I think the fish had really turned off, I put big pauses between my jerks, and I keep my jerks very, very short and quick. And then I wait, I let it die, and then I jerk. And then I reel up the slack, and I let it die, and I jerk. Real short and quick jerk. Short, reel. This changes the direction of the bait, and a bait that changes direction is extremely effective in making fish bite. Now the next method that I would like to demonstrate is the swimming method. The way you make the minnow swim is you cast out, and on your jerk you wiggle the rod tip. Every jerk you put a wiggle, you wiggle it and it swims. Now your jerks can be a little bit longer than when the jerk and stop. But you really don't ever want to swim the minnow more than 3 feet. And then you stop the minnow, get up all the slack you've created, and get ready to swim it again. Just about 3 feet and stop. That's usually when you're going to get hit, when you stop with most species of fish. So you swim it, stop, reel it up, swim it, reel it up, swim it. It's very, very effective retrieve to fool fish into absolutely believing that they're seeing a real minnow. Because once that minnow swims, it's identical to what a real fish does. So you wiggle the tip as you jerk. Quick jerks, about 3 feet, that will swim the minnow, and then it pauses and stops. Usually that's when you're going to get the bite. At that point you are slacking your line because you haven't reeled it all the way up. When you get the bite, never strike. You reel, when you reel and you feel pressure on the line, you reel tight and then you pull, not jerk, you pull the hook into the fish's mouth. Only when you feel the weight on the end of the line do you do that. But if you jerk the bait on a strike, you can jerk it right out of his mouth. With this type of hook and the method we're using, you never strike. You feel the weight, you reel it tight, and you pull the hook into the fish's mouth. The fish is going to hook himself. The third retrieve I'd like to do is the spastic action retrieve. And the spastic action retrieve is nothing but a combination of the stop and go retrieve and the swimming retrieve. You alternate between the two. The spastic action retrieve. I swim the minnow and then I stop and I do a couple of jerks. And then I swim the minnow. I let it die. I let it die. I give it a jerk. I start to swim it again. I jerk it, swim it again. Jerk it, let it die. I let it die. I let it go down and then I swim it. This mimics an injured minnow. It looks exactly like a hurt minnow would look, trying to get away, trying to right itself. It is crippled and it's distressed. And it has no regular action to it. It does all sorts of things. It goes in different directions. It flutters, it jerks, it dies. It imitates life. I use it all the time because I give the look of the minnow does about everything that will provoke a fish to bite. If the fish aren't biting, I just slow it down. I let it die a lot, and I put my jerk and stop in there, and I put the swimming, but I space them. I'm letting that minnow die, go down, all of a sudden I jerk it once. Then I swim it, and I let it die again. Let it go right down, and I give it 2 jerks. Then I'm going to let it die, and now I'm going to swim it, and I let it die again. And eventually, I will slow it right down where it goes to bottom. And then I just twitch it. Very effective way to get a fish that doesn't want to bite to bite.
Alright guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. Appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button. If you like the video, and if you don't want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. Hey man, we may even make a challenge out of this. But this is the plans for this week's fishing trip. I'm the Sunfish Assassin. Peace out, everybody.